Hello, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my Plan With Me video for August. I'm using a Rhodia goal book and I keep it inside an etched paisley navigator cover, and they're both from Start Bay notebooks. For this month's theme, I wanted to go with something really bright and fun. And I'm going to be going with a big ice cream on the cover page. And to sketch this out, I'm using a Staedtler pigment liner with a 0.5 nib. I thought the ice cream would be the perfect theme for August because we're just getting into the warmer parts of summer and ice cream's definitely been on my mind a lot recently. And I really liked the simplicity of this design. It was really nice and easy to add to my journal page. Underneath the ice cream, I'm going to use some block lettering to write out the word August. So I'm just allowing a thicker downward stroke on each of the letters. For the colour, I'm going to be using Derwent watercolour pencils, and I was lucky enough to get this big box of pencils as a gift a few Christmases ago. But if you're interested in trying them out, you can definitely get them in much smaller sets and in tins to see if there's something that you get on well with. And I've picked out some browns for the cone and some then pretty pastel colours for the ice cream. And I really enjoy using watercolour pencils in my journal because you do still add water in the same way as you do with watercolour paints, but you don't need as much, so you don't get quite so much crinkling on your pages. I'm starting off by adding 2 different shades of brown on the cone, and I've kept the brown lighter in the top right hand corner to tie in with the highlights on the top right of the ice cream. And now I'm going to colour in each of the ice cream balls in a different colour. Another great thing with using watercolour pencils is that you don't have to worry about being too neat, because when you add the water you'll be blending away all of those pencil strokes. To add water, I'm using a Derwent water brush, and I always keep some tissue by the side of me, and that helps me to check how much water is coming out and also to clean off any pigment off the brush before moving on to the next colour. And it's now been able to blend those 2 browns in really nicely together. I'm using the same pencils to colour in the letters at the bottom of the page, and that ties it in really nicely with the ice cream. For my lettering on the opposite page, I'm going to be using some Tombow ABT brush pens, and I keep them inside that pencil case from Notebook Therapy. And I was really pleased to see that I had 3 colours that matched in really nicely. And the colours I'm using are 803, 401 and 243. I nearly always pencil in my lettering onto the page first, just to check that everything's going to fit in the way that I want it to. And I'm lettering out the words, "Life is better with ice cream." I'm now using a grey Tombow in M75 to add some shading around each of the letters. And I'm doing that on the right hand side of each stroke and underneath them. And I'm going to add some white highlights using a uni white gel pen. So that is now my cover page for August finished. The next page I'm going to set up is for my calendar, and I'm going to use 2 rolls of washi tape from London Gifties. And I'm going to put down the pink layer first and then add this bluish colour over the top. And I thought that matched in again really nicely with the colours that I've used on my cover page. I'm now adding a swirly banner to the top of my page, and I'll be using one of the same watercolour pencils to colour it in. And I've added some little stitch marks along the sides of the ribbon. Whilst I do use Outlook Calendar, I really like having this drawn one in my journal pages, and on here I add all of my meetings and events, but I also add any project deadlines and also schedule in work and keep a brief record of anything I've done on those days. So it becomes a nice record of everything that I've done throughout the month. I like to highlight each Monday so that I can easily see how many clear weeks there are in the month. For the next page, I'm going to add these folding over tabs and break my page into 3 sections. And the top one I will use for key tasks that I want to get done throughout August. The next one will be a social media tracker. And the bottom section will be where I add my review of the month. I've really enjoyed setting up my bullet journal this month because I'm nice and ahead of schedule. It gave me a bit of time to add more doodling and design on my pages, whereas sometimes I just add some quick stickers and washi tape, and it all just depends for me on how much time I've got free when I'm setting my journal up. I'm using those same 3 watercolour pencils again to tie in with the theme. And I find that's a nice way to tie your pages together without having to find lots of designs that are all the same. If you use the same colours, it still gives it a really nice cohesive feel. The next pages I'm setting up will be for my gratitude log and my habit tracker. And for the lettering, I'm using a pink Fudenosuke brush pen. And I really like these. They have a firmer nib than the Tombow ABTs, so they're often easier to control, and it also means that you can make your writing a little bit smaller if you want to. For my habit tracker, I turn my bullet journal to the side, and I will add the heading at the top using that same pink pen. At the end of this video, I will be sharing a flip through of my bullet journal pages from July so that you can see how these spreads look once they're in use. For some quick decoration, I'm using one of my stamps from my own sets, which is the Love Words and Doodles stamp set. Next, I'm going to add the numbers for the dates across the top of the page and then list the habits that I want to track along the left. And this works really well for me, and I fill it in quickly every evening. And finally on this page, I'm going to add a little bit of colour to those flowers. The next pages I'm going to set up are for my master task list. And I mention this every month because it's one of my most useful spreads in my bullet journal. So it's like an organised brain dump where I list everything I need to get done, but I put it under different categories so I can easily find the tasks I'm looking for. And I break it down into work, JWP, which is Journal with Purpose, things for me, and also posts for social media. I'm going to add some heart stickers for decoration that come from Pipsticks. The next pages I'm setting up are my Reasons to be Proud and Notes pages. And I've been keeping this Reasons to be Proud page for quite a few months now, and it's become a really lovely part of my evening routine, where I sit down and just jot a few things onto the paper that I feel I've done well at that day. And sometimes it's big achievements, but more often than not it's just small things that I have been able to accomplish. For decoration, I'm going to use these transfer stickers from London Gifties, and you cut them out and you can then peel the backing off and use the wooden stick to transfer them onto your page. And I'm just playing around with them so that I can form a little design in the bottom right hand corner. And when that plastic comes off, you're left with a really nice matte design on your page that looks like it was already part of the design. And my notes page is a really handy place to just write down any thoughts and anything that I want to remember throughout the month. The final pages I'm setting up are to record my best moments and also my mood tracker. And I tried this out for the first time during July, and I'm really happy with how my pages are looking. So I'm using a stamp from my Planner Frames stamp set, and I'm just stamping it out across the page so that I've got those to either write or doodle in as really nice things happen that I want to remember. And I've added a kind of string design to make it look like those tags are dangling. On the next page, I'm going to use one of my heart stamps, and I will stamp out 31 of them so that I can colour one in each evening to keep a track of how my mood's been throughout the month. And I'll make sure that wherever possible I link all of the products that I've used down in the description box down below. Before I share my flip through with you, I just wanted to show you something that I'm really excited about. There's a brand new magazine that's come out called Simply Lettering, and I'm lucky enough to be one of the monthly contributors. So I'm going to have a monthly tutorial and also a column in there too. And I really love the magazine. I think it's been put together really well. And I'll leave linked down below the different options for either being able to buy it online or a link to find out which stores you'll be able to buy it in. And it's available in lots of stores in the UK and will also be coming out to lots of other countries too. So as promised, I'm now going to share with you a flip through of my bullet journal pages so far during July. So this is my monthly cover page, my calendar and key tasks, gratitude log and habit tracker, my master task list, reasons to be proud and notes pages, along with my best moments and mood tracker. This is my weekly layout where I record my events, meals, tasks for the week, the habits I want to track, exercise, water, meditation and healthy eating. And these are always followed by my daily plans. And I keep that same format throughout each week of the month because it works really well for me. I've also included in here my third quarter plans, so I like to set up in advance, and also a journaling challenge that I am hosting on my blog each month with giveaways. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, it would be great if you'd leave it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Thank you ever so much for watching.